and the fact that you actually pornograph your own girlfriend is, I find you absolutely disgusting as a human being.
Well, I think the victims that you're shooting every single day see you as a disgusting human being as well.
I don't think they think the way you do. I know they don't think the way you do. They've been a pornographer yet. Jesus.
All right. Well, I really do appreciate you taking the time to join in on this conversation. Maybe you can start off by introducing yourself, giving a bit of a background on what you do for people that haven't already seen your Instagram account.
Myself, because they already know you. Well, they already know me. Matt the Butcher, mobile farm butcher and slaughterman. Been butchering since 1990. Moved into the mobile butchering world in 1998, really. And that's basically it.
Okay.
Just
okay. Butcher. Yeah, and it looks like you have a farm as well. Are you a farmer? Would you consider yourself a farmer?
I'm a lazy farmer.
So animals are being sent to you for you to kill them.
Sorry?
So are you killing animals yourself on your your own piece of land?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, describe your practices. Maybe you can give us a little bit of an insight in how that entire process works, because a lot of people won't really understand how quote unquote backyard butcher looks like.
Backyard butcher's a bit of a. It's not really. It's a. I would say the art form of butchering at its prime. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you're starting with it's a nose to tail product. You're starting with going to people's farms. You turn up there, you meet the customer, they have their animals. You discuss the health and welfare of how the animals have been and what sort of condition they're in. Then you process, harvest them, chill them for the amount of time that people want them and chilled for, and then you process them to the customer's requirements, minimalising as much waste as.
So by process, are you talking about the process of murdering the animal at that point?
Murdering is a bad word to use, Jackie boy.
Oh, tell me why it's a bad word to use. Explain yourself.
Well, I'm not needing to explain myself. Murdering is if you were to kill another human being. If I was to come there and, if I was to hold you underwater for long enough, you'd stop telling people that you're vegan.
No.
Right?
Not necessarily. Murder doesn't just apply to humans. It can apply to non-humans as well. It's the deliberate and unjustified killing of somebody. It's premeditated. It's mediated.
How is it unjustified?
Because we don't have to be killing animals at all.
Yes, but at the end of the day, let's talk about the animals that you slaughter for your food, that you say that it's necessary for a certain amount of animals to die so that you can eat food, but that's okay for you.
Explain that.
So let's talk about those animals.
Explain yourself.
Well,
what do you mean?
Everything. There is a bowl of fruit. Nice blackberries grown here, everything grown here, grapes, everything. At the end of the day, animals have to die to produce that.
So you're talking
animals have to die for everything. It's physically impossible to be 100% vegan because you need to kill animals to produce your food.
Are you aware
you're comfortable
what
veganism with Jack, before we go any further, if I'm having a conversation, don't talk over the top of me. You can raise your hand or you can say, "Excuse me, Matthew, can I say something?" A little bit of manners is okay.
Can you
is that okay?
Explain what veganism means if you understand what veganism means?
Well, veganism means to you, as far as what vegans say, is that it's okay for certain animals to die to produce some amount of meat because it's a lesser amount than the larger animals.
No, I asked if you know what the definition is. It's yes or no, and if you know it, could you explain it?
The definition of veganism, as far as what I portray it to be, is that you have a certain amount of animals that you think it's okay to die for your food.
No, that's not the definition. Maybe I'll have to explain it to you.
Oh, well, you can explain it to me. Go for it.
So essentially, it's an ethical stance against the exploitation of non-human animals. That's basically how you could sum it up. So if you're actively breeding animals into existence to enslave them and then eventually abuse and murder them in some way, that is against veganism. And most people, surprisingly, would actually agree with the premise of veganism that we should be against the exploitation and abuse of animals. And I just want to know, what's your opinion on that? Are you against the abuse and exploitation of animals?
Well, define abuse, because your word of abuse is that's a huge word to use as far as abuse goes.
Okay, well,
Is murdering an animal abuse?
tell me, what do you think
Answer the
abuse
question.
means?
Answer the question. Is murdering an animal abuse?
Absolutely. If I were to murder you or you were to murder somebody else, I would say that's a form of abuse, because
So every animal
it's an act of violence.
every animal that dies for your food is abuse.
What animals are dying for my food? So you're talking about incidental deaths that occur during the agricultural process?
Exactly right. Incidental deaths, which is not incidental, it's manufactured deaths. That is manufactured. It has to be done, and is done professionally, to get rid of those animals so that food is there on your plate.
Yeah.
So you can't steer. Don't interrupt me. Don't talk over the top. You can't do that. Raise your hand or say, "Excuse me, Matthew," before you continue on. All right. A little bit of manners is something you don't have right at the moment.
Well, actually,
You understand that?
you join my live stream, so I'm the host and I'll ask the questions.
Yes, but you don't talk over the top of someone. That's fucking rude.
Okay. So what you were talking about there is incidental death. So yes, vegans aren't in denial that deaths are going to occur during agricultural processes for both plant farming and for animal farming, obviously. Now, in plant farming, most of crops grown in the world are actually fed to the 80 billion land animals. So if you are against, deaths that are occurring as the result of crops, most of that is going towards feeding animals.
Well, that's incorrect. Like, you're talking about either a product or a corn product, and those products are actually different. So if you were to go to corn, all the corn grown for animals isn't fit for human consumption anyway. It's not the corn that you get in the supermarket, is it? Do you know anything about agriculture?
What do you mean? So what are you trying to say? I just made the point. I made the point that most crops grown in the world are actually fed to animals. The vast majority, because there's 80 billion land animals that are bred into existence and killed every single year, and there's around 8 billion humans. So who do you think are consuming the most crops?
The vast majority of those crops that are actually fed to the animals aren't fit for human consumption.
But you would agree, as you said earlier, that animals are going to likely die incidentally in the process of harvesting any crops.
Well, because veganism is actually based on monocropping, that everything to do with veganism food, from unprocessed to highly processed, is going to be monocropped. True or untrue?
You can either consume monocrops or not. I mean, veganism is not about the particular crops you consume. Veganism, like I said, is an ethical stance. But if we're talking about plant-based eating, yeah, you can eat monocrops, absolutely. But like I said, monocrops are also fed to the animals grown and murdered in the animal agriculture industry, and that's around 80 billion land animals. Most of the world's calories and most of the world's crops, whether it's edible or not for humans, are still being grown and fed to animals. So most of those deaths that you're talking about are actually for them. Now, putting that aside, we can agree that incidental deaths, I assume, are going to occur in both plant-based agriculture and animal-based agriculture. Now, the difference between you and I is you're forcibly breeding animals into existence to murder them, whereas a vegan is doing everything they can to exploit no animals whatsoever.
Excuse me?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not incidental deaths. They're planned deaths.
How so? Explain. Sure.
It's not incidental. Yeah. Word incidental. You don't have that word. You can't choose that your food is okay. You can't choose incidental as your word, because I could choose that the animals that I go and slaughter for my customers are incidental in comparison to big business.
No, they're deliberate.
And I would say to you, are you against just big business, or are you against everyone? Do vegans actually come onto my page saying, "Oh, you're part of the Holocaust"? But the deaths that I create during the year are way less incidental than how many are created for veganism food.
No, that's not actually how we would think of the word incidental. So the difference between you and I'm going to have to say it again, is that you're actually forcibly breeding animals into existence to actually murder them. Now, I'm going to give you an analogy to help make this a little bit more clear. So let's say we're both driving a car, okay? Now, one car is a metaphor for plant-based agriculture. The other is for animal-based agriculture. Now, deaths, whether we say the word incidental or not, deaths are going to occur on both. Now, if you look at the stats, yes, vegans that are consuming a fully plant-based diet, whilst it's not perfect, are still going to result in a dramatically, significantly less animal deaths during that process. But let's just say, look, they both result in deaths. Now, the difference between you and I is I'm driving my car, the plant-based agricultural car. You're driving yours, which is probably involving both plants and animals based on what you eat. You're an omnivore, I guess, not a carnivore. But the difference is you're actually, I'm going to say it again, deliberately breeding animals into existence to actually run them over, as well as all the other deaths that are going to occur during that process. So I don't think there's any denying that that a non-vegan is responsible for far more killing, both the deaths during the process of agriculture, but also the actual enslavement, exploitation, and murder of animals that they are actively paid to consume.
Your analogy doesn't work.
Okay.
That doesn't work at all.
Go ahead.
Because no vegan actually gets on social media and talks about the deaths that they provide, right? It's not incidental. It's purpose. You run over those animals on purpose to create your food. That's not incidental, is it? Is it?
Sorry. What do you mean? I guess we're probably getting a bit of a mix up here on what the actual definition of incidental is then. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. So incidental generally would be the deaths that occur during the process of something.
You can act that I'm right, and then you can't even look at the screen when you're talking to me. You're looking away and you're looking up because you know that I'm right.
No. Look, we can go around in circles here, but look, the numbers are very clear that even if you're accounting for deaths that occur during the agricultural process, vegans that are consuming a fully plant-based diet are responsible for far less deaths, as well as the deliberate exploitation and murder of animals that non-vegans are directly consuming and paying for. Now, I just want to ask you then, because it sounds like you really care about animals here, because you're really focusing on the deaths that occur during agriculture. Or maybe you do, maybe you don't. But now let's replace, because I've seen your videos, they're quite disturbing. Maybe you can describe what's the creative process behind your videos, and where you chop animals' heads off and make them sing on camera and stuff like that. What's the goal behind that?
That's a perfectly good rhubarb song in German. It says ba 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 blah, and I thought it just suited actually using a lamb's head to do the same thing. It's called puppeteering.
Yeah,
just use animal's head for puppeteering. Very clever on my behalf.
What do you think about
and nothing wrong
people
with
that say that that's quite disturbing to look at?
Listen, for some people that are sensitive, definitely. But as we are all grown people, you can scroll past if you don't like it.
Yeah.
It's entertainment for people like me. If you have a look at the comments on there, there's a lot of good comments. There's a lot of funny comments. It's a bit of lighter side of. We're not so serious on life. You know what I mean? We're all animals. Different. We're all animals.
I agree, we're animals. Yeah, we are. But animals, whether human or non-human, all have a desire to live. They all deserve to be protected if we don't have to be killing them in the first place. Now, I just want to continue with this. Now, let's say we replace the animal's head that you're, I guess, masquerading around, making them sing after you've chopped their head off, after you've murdered them. Now, replace that head with a human head. Would you understand why some people would say that's disturbing and disrespectful and quite, gross?
Well, definitely it'd be different if it was a human head, because then I'd be in jail, wouldn't I?
Putting the legality of that aside, why do you think that that's much more disturbing and wrong when you replace the non-human animal in your butchery, your slaughterhouse, with a human instead? Why is that much more worse?
Humans. Do we eat humans?
Do we eat humans?
Do we eat humans?
Other
humans?
You can, but not many people do due to the legality around it. Why do you think people... Sorry, can you repeat that?
It's the legality around. Like at the end of the day, it's not legal to chop someone's head off and then do the song. You know what I mean? Of course, that would be wrong because it's human on human, and we don't do that. Animals are different; they're herbivores, right? And they are made of meat, and they are healthy, they are nutritious, and that is exactly what we're here for. The chickens, the eggs, the honey, the avocados, all that great food that you try and replicate as vegans. I mean, what you actually and what you're actually getting away with on the scale of saying, oh, we kill so many more animals. Yeah, we do, because we like to eat meat. It is okay to eat meat. It's delicious and it's fantastic. And I mean, don't get me wrong, isn't your father part of Higgs? Is it Higgs Haulage? Is that
He
right?
owns a trucking company, yes, yeah.
And doesn't he transport sheep to the abattoirs and cows to the abattoirs?
Yeah, actually, decades ago, before he was a vegan, he did do that, and now he sees that as completely immoral and a form of animal slavery that he doesn't want to take part in.
So your whole family was based on, before that, was brought up on the money of animal transportation. Is that
Mostly
right?
heavy haulage. Yeah, so likewise, like I just said, we weren't vegan once upon a time, and then we realized that non-human animals, deserve to not be exploited just like humans do. Now, I want to go back to that because we didn't really get to dig in a little bit deeper. Now, exactly why would it be wrong to do to humans what you do to animals? Putting the legality aside, would you do that to a human if it was legal to do so, hypothetically?
No,
Why
no, I
not?
wouldn't.
I want to know why.
Because they'd fucking fight back or have a gun or have a knife and be having a go at me about doing that. You know what I mean? There's a different level of intelligence to start with.
So if they didn't fight back, hypothetically, you would shoot them in the head if they didn't fight back.
Well, that's just a dumb question. That's a dumb analogy, isn't
No,
it?
no, no, that's
Really?
what you said. You said we wouldn't do it to humans because they would fight back. Now, let's say they didn't fight back because there are probably many humans that couldn't fight back. If you tied them
No.
up, let's say, hey,
Why are you going dumb routine? Why are
what?
you doing this
So
dumb state?
no, I want to understand your values here. I want to understand why you think it's okay to do it to non-humans, but you wouldn't do the same to humans.
You're not valuing human life whatsoever. You're just saying we're the same as animals. We're not herbivores, right?
You just
We're not
said we were
cows.
animals before.
Hey,
You just said we were animals about a minute ago.
we're not herbivores.
I'm
Okay,
not
we're
saying
not
we're
the animals
herbivores.
for food, right? Cows are different to us. Sheep are different to us. Pigs are different to us. Chickens are different to us. Snakes, spiders, everything is totally different to us, right?
You're
And
different to me, but I'm not going to kill you.
well, you fucking wouldn't either because you would struggle. You know what I mean?
Oh, but if I
You would
tied you
struggle
up,
to
I
kill.
could, but I still wouldn't do it. Now, I just want to say, I
How
just
are
want to get back to this. What trait are non-humans lacking that makes it okay to abuse, torture, and murder them? That
who's torturing?
humans. Okay, well, let's put torturing aside. What makes it okay to shoot them in the head, but not a human?
Because it's murder and you'll go to jail. It's
No, like I
justification.
said, we're still on this same question.
Yeah,
Hypothetically, let's say it was legal.
but it's not legal, and it never will be. Otherwise, we would be tearing ourselves apart. The whole world would be split in two, and we would rip each other to shreds. You'd be fucking gone. You know what I mean?
So you're saying you're worried about the consequences of society. That's the reason you wouldn't shoot a human.
I'm worried about bloody going to jail for the rest of my life.
So you're worried about what would happen to you and not the human that you just stole the life from. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't kill the person, you idiot. It's a stupid
Why wouldn't you kill the
thing.
person? So you've listed a few personal reasons because you don't want to go to jail. But would you do it? Would you not do it because you don't want to steal that life from that human being that deserves to live? Is that a fundamental reason?
Well, no, I don't go out. I don't have that. Listen, have you ever been diving? Have you ever been
But can you answer the
diving?
question?
Have you ever been diving?
No, I haven't. But you didn't answer my question.
I'm answering your question. I just need to know. Have you ever been diving?
Okay,
Have you ever gone down
sure.
and
No, I
speared a
haven't.
fish?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Baloney. Have you ever speared a fish?
No,
Have
I
you
haven't.
ever felt the adrenaline running through your body, doing those sorts of things, going through the kelp beds and living life to the full and being able to provide for your family or your friends or whoever you're with camping? Have you ever been able to do that in your life? Have you
I've
felt
been camping, but
that
I don't murder animals because I don't have to murder
have you
animals.
like that before? Have you? Because you'd be a very boring camper. But the thing is, there's no exhilaration or anything about going out and saying, "Listen, I'm going to kill a human being." Okay, that's not in your
For some,
mentality.
there is. For
But
some people, they do. Serial killers would enjoy it. Are you saying it's only wrong for a serial killer to kill another human simply because they would go to jail? Do you not see that the issue is mostly for the victim that was just shot in the head? Would you agree?
the victim,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. Are you? What's more of a concern when you're murdering somebody? The person that will have to face legal consequences, or the person that was murdered? What's more of the concern?
what's more of the fact that you even can consider or actually want to talk about another human killing another human being? What for? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of me killing that person for?
You can't seem to answer a question.
No, no.
Who is it worse for, the victim or the killer?
What is the purpose of me killing the human being?
Who's it worse for, the victim or the killer?
What is the purpose for me killing the human being?
I'm not saying there is a purpose for it. You could have various purposes for it. I'm
No, but
asking, I want to understand your values here. I want to
there's a
understand whether it's worse for the victim or the killer.
there's a purpose for killing a sheep, a cow, a pig, a chicken, getting eggs, getting bees, getting honey, all those sorts of things. There's a purpose for that. It's called nutrition. Now, for going and killing a person, there is no purpose for doing that other than
Well, there is nutrition. They're an animal. They have flesh that you can consume just like any other animal.
saying it's for consumption. Are
Sorry?
you saying I'm going to person for consumption? Is that what you're saying?
If that's what we want to say in the hypothetical, I just want to understand. This isn't even
Well,
about you anymore. Let's look at a serial killer. Let's think of Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay. Now, who is it worse for? Jeffrey Dahmer, who has to face legal consequences, or the victims that he shot or chopped their head off and ate their bodies? Who is it worse for?
that's definitely worse for the victim.
Absolutely. That's what I wanted to hear. It's worse for the victims. Now, why is it bad for human victims to be murdered, but not for non-human animals to be murdered?
Because they're for food.
No, but for Jeffrey Dahmer, humans were food for him. But you
No,
said
no,
it's worse for the victims.
he's like you. He's sexually perverted. I mean, you take photos of your girlfriend Tash and put them on bloody OnlyFans and profit from that. I mean, that's exploitation, isn't it?
No, it's consensual.
It's consensual, but you're like a pornographer for your girlfriend who could be your wife, and then you're going to have kids, and they're going to go, "How'd you fund yourself, Dad?" "Oh, well, I took photos of your wife and showed her fucking body parts all over the internet to provide money for us to do all this stuff, and then talk to people on social media about killing other people and pretending that I'm fucking Jeffrey Dahmer."
That's consensual, but this is what we call a deflection. You just don't really want to answer these ethical questions.
I answered your question.
Yeah, so I want to understand. Why is it wrong for the victims Jeffrey Dahmer killed, but not wrong for the animals you're killing? What is the trait difference that makes it wrong for the human and bad for the non-human? You said that it's because we can get nutrition from animals, but actually you can get nutrition from humans. And that wasn't the reason you said we wouldn't kill the humans. You said it because,
He was
well, they're a
sexually
victim.
males. He was sexually attracted to males, and he killed males that he was sexually attracted to. Are you going down that path? Are you sexually
He can do it
attracted
for
to?
various reasons. That's not what I'm asking you.
You
I
are
asked
asking me
you,
that. I did
okay,
it.
why do you
I,
think it's okay to do it to non-humans but
can
not
you
humans?
can you not handle the answer?
Well, okay,
Are you just like,
ask me your question and then I'm going to have to ask you the same question again.
I've already answered your question, and then you say I didn't answer the question? But he did it sexually perverse and then ate the bodies. It was a sexual perversion thing for Jeffrey Dahmer, and you're trying to put that into the context of people killing animals. Do you think everyone's sexually perverse or something? What road are you going down here? Like, you're just fucking twisted me.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, I'm going to ask it, I'm going to rephrase it differently. Maybe you'll be able to understand it a little bit better. Okay,
You're
so what trait,
perverse.
what trait are non-human animals lacking that allows you to shoot them in the head but not a human? What trait are they lacking that makes it okay to do it to them?
What do you mean? What trait?
Yeah, so there's a reason that you wouldn't go and kill a human. You said, well, because it's worse for them. Maybe they deserve to live. I'm assuming that's kind of what your reasoning was. Now,
And it's illegal,
it's illegal.
and that's as simple as it
Okay.
is.
So the reason you wouldn't kill a human is because it's illegal. So if there was no legal system, you would kill a human.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
said
so
that.
what is it then? That's what you said. I'm asking you. I'm trying to understand your thoughts here. So is it the
Well,
legal system
you
you
try.
wouldn't kill a human?
No, it's because I don't want to kill a human. I don't find killing humans. I don't even think about killing a human, but you obviously do.
No, I
You talk about it a
don't.
lot.
No, I'm a
Yes, you
vegan.
do. That's all
That applies
you've
to.
brought up. All you've talked about the humans. That's all you've talked about the last 5 minutes is killing human beings and wondering why I wouldn't go and kill a human being. You're just fixated on why I wouldn't kill a human being.
Because
And
I'm
I've
trying to
told you
understand your
numerous
value
times.
system. Yeah. So the reason you wouldn't kill them, mostly from what I've heard here, is because there would be legal consequences for yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, and to me, human beings aren't food.
Yep. Okay. But for some, they are. Is
Who?
is that simply the reason you wouldn't? Is that
Who,
simply the reason? Sorry.
who are they food for? Who are they food
There's
for?
cannibal tribes. You know, there have been and there probably are still.
You're living in a fictitious world, really, aren't you?
No, not
You,
really, actually. You can probably look that up for yourself. But even let's say there wasn't, they still can be food for humans or maybe a lion. You know, humans can be eaten. They're a form of flesh. We're animals, as you've already agreed. Now, I just want to try to get to the bottom of this. Is the reason you wouldn't kill a human? Because I know you wouldn't kill a human. You've established that, and I just want to understand why. So it's the legal consequences, and because they're not food for you. Is that literally the only reason you wouldn't kill them? Because you couldn't eat them, and you might go to jail.
are you thick?
I just want to understand. You can't answer it for some reason.
There's no need to keep going around. You're just going round and round in circles.
Because you can't answer a question.
Well, I answered the question because it's illegal and they're not food.
Okay, okay. So if it was somehow hypothetically legal and someone else maybe wanted
Oh,
to eat them for you, then you would be okay with killing humans. You're not, it sounds to me that you're not actually concerned about the victim. You don't think that the human victim would have a right to life and therefore we should not kill them. That's not your reasoning behind not killing humans.
no. My reason behind not killing human beings is because I love other humans. I really love other humans, and I
Yep.
love eating cows, and I love eating sheep, and I love eating pigs, chickens. I love eating eggs. I like having honey. I like eating everything that's natural on the earth. Where you guys are going ultra processed
No,
and stepping away from being human beings, really are.
no.
You know,
You don't have to eat
you are.
processed on a plant-based diet. You can eat a whole food plant-based diet, which is what I mostly do anyway. But
You can
fundamentally
do,
here,
but and the big business
so
trait of taking over veganism.
yeah, so what I heard there is that you wouldn't kill a human
On it,
because you love other humans and you respect their life, I'm assuming. Is that right? You respect other humans' life.
you know,
100%, did you say? Yep, yep. Cool. That's what I wanted to know. It's because you respect their life. Now, why do you not give that same respect to non-human animals? What is the reason you wouldn't give that same respect to them?
it's not.
What is it like? Is there a trait? What?
Who says respect them? Why
Sorry.
do you think I got into mobile butchering? Why do you think I got into
So you
mobile
think so
butchering?
you do think you so you think you respect animals when you shoot them in the head,
Absolutely,
but you
I
would
am.
agree that it's disrespectful to shoot a human in the head.
Well, it's not disrespectful. It's illegal.
But you said you love humans and you wouldn't shoot them in the head, and I'm assuming that's because it would be immoral or disrespectful to shoot a human in the head. So
You
you're
can
saying it's
change the word,
respect.
however.
So you don't think it's disrespectful to shoot a human in the head?
Not if they deserve it. No.
No, I'm not talking about whether they deserve it or not. I'm just saying, is it disrespectful to shoot somebody in the head,
Well,
especially specifically if they don't deserve it?
let's go with what's the reason behind shooting the person in the head? What's the reason behind it? Do you have a reason behind shooting the person? What's your reason for me? What is your reason for me to go shoot that person? What's your reasoning?
No, what I'm trying to say here is that
Answer the
in this
question.
situation,
Answer the question. Answer the question.
what's the reason?
Yeah. What's the reason for me going to kill this person? Is there a reason for you to ask me to go and kill a person or a people or a number of people? What's your reasoning
Any
behind that?
reason you wanted it was a hypothetical question to
No, but it's
test your values.
not hypothetical. You're putting a factual thing together. It's not hypothetical because killing animals is real. You're putting a real situation. You're trying to put a hypothetical situation into a real situation. That's
Okay,
ridiculous.
let's try and get a yes or no answer. Let's try and get a yes or no answer. Is it disrespectful to shoot a human in the head if they're innocent?
If they're innocent.
Yeah.
Of what?
Just innocent.
If they're
They don't deserve to be shot.
well, of course it is.
Of course it is. So why is it not disrespectful to shoot an innocent non-human in the head?
Because they're food.
Humans can be food.
No, they can't.
So you're saying it's not disrespectful to shoot in the head because you think they're food.
Sharks can eat humans. Alligators can eat humans. Crocodiles, kangaroos can kill humans.
Sure.
Everything else can kill humans. Spiders can kill humans. And that's fine. But
That's fine.
That's fine. Animals kill humans, and that's fucking totally okay, isn't it?
All right. Let's put it this way then. Let's put it this way. No, I don't want to be killed by any animal. I would think that that's a horrible thing, and I would avoid it, just like you would. Now, let's put you in the victim's position. Now, let's imagine you're in front of the gun on your murder factory or whatever, your murder backyard, whatever you want to. You're in front of the gun this time. Would you see that as a bad thing to do? Would you see that as disrespectful if you were about to be shot in the head?
So how did I get in the position that someone's about to shoot me in the head? And what are they shooting me in the head for?
Because they're hungry.
And
Is that disrespectful? Would that be a violation of your rights?
The fact of the matter is that I am going to do something about them shooting me in the head, isn't it?
Well, let's just say you're restrained, you can't get away. Would that be wrong?
Restrained? Well, not if they're hungry, I suppose, will it? You know what I mean?
So you would be okay if someone's shooting you in the head if they're hungry?
Well, if they've got me restrained and I can't do anything about it, there's not much I can do, is there?
But I'm saying, would that be a violation of your rights, and would that be a bad thing to do?
Well, on fucking their behalf, yeah, but I suppose if they're hungry, I'm gone, aren't I?
Right. So you said on their behalf it would be wrong.
Well, absolutely. But
yeah,
if they're hungry, they're...
So, but you just said even if they're hungry and they shot you in the head, that would be wrong, right?
Restrained. I'm restrained, aren't I?
Yeah. Would that be wrong?
So your whole veganism so far has just been hypothetical. Your whole analogy.
Would that be wrong? It sounded like you said it would be wrong if you were kept behind some type of restrainment within some type of confinement. It would be wrong for them to shoot you in the head, even if they were hungry, because they could eat something else, right? Yes or no? Would that be wrong?
Jack, your whole conversation so far has just been fake analogies. Just been hypothetical bullshit.
Because I'm testing your value system.
You're just boring, really.
Anyway, look, I've got you saying it would be wrong for them to shoot. I don't have to try to, because I know you said I just wanted to make it clear, but I know you did say it would be wrong. And look, I can assume that you know it would be wrong for somebody to shoot you in the head, even if they were hungry, but they could eat something else. It would be wrong. Now, the reality is...
Hang on. Whoa, Jack. Jack, shut up. Just for a second. Because you didn't understand, don't talk over the top of me, right? So you can just shut up when I say shut up, right?
Says the one that just spoke over me.
Don't keep bringing things into your conversation that weren't there before, like if there was something else to eat. Like you just brought in that, if there was something else to eat and they didn't have to shoot me in this hypothetical bullshit fucking scenario you got going on here. You brought in, but if there was something else to eat. Well, they're not going to go and fucking eat a plant, got me restrained up, and they're going to shoot me in the head, are they? And
so would that be wrong? Would that be wrong if someone did that?
And there's something else to eat. They fucking can put a fucking salad with me, or they can, they can boil up some potatoes, have some sweet potatoes. They can make a pizza out of me. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you're hypothetical, and then you keep throwing in these little, you can't keep doing these little additives in there and going, this is how it is it?
No. Because you obviously don't understand what it means to test someone's values, and that's why you would use a hypothetical, because these could actually happen. This could be the case, and it sounds to me. And look, you don't have to answer. You can deflect if you want, but it really does sound to me like if someone were to restrain you in some way, confine you where you couldn't get away, and they shot you in the head, it would be wrong knowing that they could. Good lighting. Thank you. It would be wrong to shoot you in the head, knowing that they could go and eat something else, eat some vegan food. It would be wrong, wouldn't
So,
it? Because you deserve to live.
so all of a sudden, they're not going to shoot me in the head. They've restrained me for killing, right? And now all of a sudden they want to go and eat vegan food. So what are they going to do?
Yes,
Let me?
that's right.
Gonna,
That's right. That would be wrong, right? If they shot you in the head knowing they could eat something else.
yeah, was I naked? Was I naked when they restrained me?
It's irrelevant. You can decide on that.
Well, it's hypothetical.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
mate,
your hypothetical.
If you want to be naked, you can be naked. You can whatever you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's amazing. But all of a sudden, now they're going to go out and eat vegan food, which causes death anyway.
Much less when you're accounting for those types of deaths. Dramatically less.
Do you feel for those animals that it's much less an incidental?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't live in a vegan world, and as we progress towards a vegan world, veganic farming practices will ideally take place, and we can actually reduce those amount of deaths. Now, let's try to answer that question. Would it be wrong for someone to shoot you in the head?
World.
Sorry, you cut out. Can you say that again?
1 to 3% of people in the world are vegan.
Yep.
Where's this fucking domination of veganism going to come from?
Oh, I'm just saying that as we progress towards that, ideally, we can reduce that. But even right now, let's say we didn't progress towards it. Even right now, dramatically less animals are killed, and we've already been over this. You're not gonna listen, and we can't really get anywhere with this conversation.
Well, because your hypothetical is bullshit.
No, it's not. It's just a hypothetical that you can't seem to answer properly.
Well, what hypothetical can't I answer properly? Say it, and I'll answer it right now.
Beautiful.
Go on.
Beautiful. Great. Okay. Someone's about to shoot you in the head because they're hungry. They could eat something else, something vegan. Would that be wrong for them to shoot you in the head? Yes or no?
Why would they be debating whether they're going to go eat something vegan? And
you were going to answer it, mate.
Well, it's not an answer. You're actually throwing out you're almost putting the answer in the question, and it's stupid.
So yes is what you would say. Yes, it would be wrong for them to do that.
No, if they've already got me bound up and tied up, they're going to shoot me in the head, and they're going to eat the vegan food anyway.
So would it be wrong for them to shoot you? Yes or no?
No, I don't think so. No,
it wouldn't be wrong. It wouldn't be wrong if someone tied you up and shot you in the head because they wanted to eat you, knowing that they could eat a vegan food instead.
Well, they're still going to eat the vegan food, aren't they? And they've got me tied up for a reason.
So you're saying
why have they got me tied?
It's okay for them. So it's okay for them to shoot you in the head.
Yeah, sure.
Morally,
they've got me bound up and tied.
Morally,
they haven't gone
ethically. You're going.
They haven't gone to the to tie me up and bound me up to just to let me go, have they?
Would you want to be let go?
Well, I dare say I probably would be, yeah.
Yes, because it would be wrong to shoot you in the head. You would ideally want to be let free.
Well, yeah, but they're going to go eat vegan food and they're going to eat me as well because they've bound me up. They've gone to all the trouble to get me there. No, so they're going to eat me anyway.
No, they're not. I'm just trying to say, would you prefer them to not eat you?
Jack, shut up. I'm answering your hypothetical question.
Yeah.
Are you not happy? Are you not happy with the answer?
No, because that's not what I asked you.
What did you ask me?
I said, would you prefer them not to eat you and not shoot you in the head altogether? Yes or no?
Well, I haven't got a choice.
I'm saying I'm giving you the choice. What would you prefer? Whether they do it or not, what would you prefer?
Well, your hypothetical question just is fucking it's wavy as bloody fuck. You know what I mean? It's wishful. You're in a bloody swamp.
What would
the question is?
You prefer?
What would I prefer?
Yeah, would you prefer to be let go and not eaten and not shot in the head?
I've been kidnapped, and then I've been bound up, and someone's about to shoot me in the head, and all of a sudden I've got a vegan bloody plateau in front of them, and they're going to go off and eat the vegan plateau. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What would you prefer? Would you would you prefer to not be shot in the head?
They wouldn't have got me in the first place, would they?
What would you prefer? Them to let you go free?
I think if they've gone to all that trouble to bloody bound me up and chop and get ready to chop me up, I think I prefer to be shot. Fancy being caught by a vegan.
You would prefer to be shot in the head knowing you could have been set free?
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah, absolutely. You know, if they're going to go eat vegan food over eating something delicious like me, then bloody oath, yeah, eat
You
me
would
up.
want, yeah. So you would want to be eaten. Oh my goodness, I don't believe you.
Yeah, I answered your question, didn't I?
Okay, yeah, you did, and I'm actually really surprised by your answer.
Yeah, well, there you go. No, well, I think eating meat would be fucking better than vegan food.
So yeah, so you would prefer somebody to
Oh,
shoot you in the head, knowing
listen,
they didn't have to.
I'm a pretty big guy. The fats and protein, the amount of people I could actually feed would be astronomical. You know what I mean? I'm pretty. I've got some good fat layer at the moment. I've got to reduce it in size, but anyway, that'll happen during the year because I've got to get fit for a bit of a race at the end of the year. But yeah, definitely, yeah, overeating vegan food. If that was their choice to shoot me in the head, whether I fucking like it or not, I would produce far more protein and far more delicious products to go with vegetables and everything else.
Okay, so
So
it
yeah,
sounds to me like you don't really value your life. Now let's replace you then with someone you do love, say a wife, a child, or someone you love. Would that be then wrong?
you're getting that's pretty sick. That's pretty
Yeah,
sick, Jack.
so it sounds like you that would be bad then. You wouldn't want that to happen.
Well, you're talking about me, and your hypothetical scenario now is you're a sick person.
No, no,
You're a
no.
sick individual.
Just trying to understand because I wouldn't want
Well,
that.
no,
I think that would be horrible.
I already understand you're a sick individual.
Okay, sure. But that would be horrible. It sounds okay. Judging by your response, I can assume that that would then be not preferable. It would be bad to do that. Now, now actually in the real world, you're on the opposite side of the gun and you're the one actually pulling that trigger most days. Um, so
All the time.
again,
Oh,
yeah, all the time. So whilst you just agreed that it wouldn't be preferable and it would be actually probably morally wrong for the human to be in the animal situation, why is it not morally wrong for the non-human animal that's in that situation every single day in front of your gun? Why is it not wrong for them, but not wrong for the human?
why is it not wrong for them?
Yeah.
Because they're providing food.
Oh, but in that situation that I just said before, you could have been food for that person.
And I said I would be.
Yes, but yes, but I said then replace because you seem to be you don't seem to value your life. What makes you think that the non-human animal doesn't value their life?
Because because they don't know they're about to lose it. That's the big difference in your analogy and your hypothetical question is that when you're actually talking about this fantasy unicorns and rainbows scenario, that all of a sudden I'm tied up and someone's going to shoot me in the head, and then you throw in a bit later on, oh, you know, but they got vegan food over here that they can go and eat. That already it's got deaths involved in it anyway. What would you prefer? I mean, come on. At the end of the day, your hypothetical question doesn't have any value.
Okay, so you're saying it would be wrong. It wouldn't be wrong to do it if they didn't know it was going to happen. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they don't know what's going to happen. It's not that
Right. So
they.
it justifies it, and you're saying it's justifiable because they don't know it's about to happen.
Well, I'm not saying it's justifiable because it's going to happen. It's about to happen.
Yeah.
Stop this interview.
What?
Deb. Oh no, I'm just talking to
Oh,
Deb.
I thought you were saying to me to stop the interview. Anyway, we can finish up soon anyway. But I'm just trying to get to this. So you would say it would be it's okay to shoot the animal in the head because they don't know they're about to be shot in the head. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's okay to shoot them in the head because they're food.
Okay, but now think from the victim's position. They would prefer to live. I mean, that's what it means to be alive. We do everything we can to try to stay alive.
How do you know that they prefer to live? How do you know? Have you talked to them? Do you talk to animals, Jackie boy?
So you're saying
Do you,
that
do you
animals don't have a desire to, they wouldn't fight to live if they were given the option.
talk to animals? Answer the
Sorry?
question. Do you talk to
No.
animals?
No, you don't have to talk to animals to be aware of that.
Oh, you do. Obviously, you know exactly how an animal thinks. Do you
So you're
think
saying
you know?
whether or not you can communicate to them, do you not think that animals have a preference to live? They would fight to
They don't know.
survive.
They don't know any different.
So when a lion's chasing down a gazelle, you're saying the gazelle doesn't care about dying.
That's a totally different scenario. Why are you bringing a lion and a gazelle into something where we're talking about shooting a cow or a sheep?
Because I'm trying to make the point that animals have a preference to live if they're given the option.
But they don't have a choice.
Okay, well, okay, let's go with this then. So now a human is now in this situation. The human doesn't know they're about to die. I come whilst they're sleeping and I shoot them in the head. Okay, is that now okay because they didn't know it was going to happen?
Well, you're going to jail, so it's okay. It's okay for you to go to jail.
No.
That's up to you. That's a stupid.
For the victim, they didn't feel anything. They didn't know they'd die. But you would say that that's wrong because you just stole their life,
That's on
right?
you.
Is that what you would say?
That's on you, Jack. It's not on me. That's on you.
What do you mean?
If you want to go shoot him in the head, that's on you, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but would that be wrong for the victim that was just shot in the head, whether they knew it happened or not? Would it be wrong for the victim?
What do you think, Jack?
I want to know your answer. I know my answer. It would be wrong. I want to know what your answer is.
I've already answered the same question, asked a number of different times, and you just don't seem to get it.
Would it be wrong for the victim to be shot in the head if they didn't know it was going to happen?
Well, you're talking about a human being, and you're talking about going to jail. You're talking about murder. You're talking about.
Let's say I wasn't caught by the cops. I wasn't caught by the cops. Would it be wrong for the victim to be shot in the head if they didn't know it was going to happen?
What was the purpose?
For the fun of it. Well, I wanted to eat them. I was hungry.
Oh, well, then you got to feed, and you're going to go to jail. So
yeah, but would it be wrong for the victim?
Do the crime, do the time, Jack.
Yeah. So you're saying it would be wrong for the victim to be shot in the head if they didn't know it happened?
Well, they're dead, aren't they?
Yeah, and it would be bad for them,
going to jail.
Right? Would it be bad for them?
You're going to jail, Jack.
Yeah, cool.
It's bad.
Awesome. I'm going to jail.
Your whole life's gone.
Yeah, sure.
They'll track you down. That's what.
Well, let's go with that. My life is. I'm going to jail. Is it still bad for the victim?
Well, the victim's dead. Of course it is. It's also worse.
It was wrong.
Yep.
It's wrong for them because I stole their life from them, right? They could have kept living.
Well, they could have, but you're a fuckwit, so you've gone and killed them.
Yeah, it would be wrong, right? So again, you're shooting these animals in the head. They might not be aware that you're about to shoot them in the head because they don't know what a gun is. I've seen the videos. They obviously are unaware. But still, based on your logic just then, it would be wrong to do it because you're stealing their life from them.
It's not wrong to steal a life from an animal when you're providing food and sustenance. It's like your incidentals. They're dying.
So why is it not
your incidental food?
So why is it not wrong for the non-human to shoot them in the head, but it's wrong for the human?
Are you that thick that you can't get that through your head that it's murder when you're killing a human being? Right?
Yeah, why is it murder for the human being then? Let's go with that then. Why is it murder for the human being but not for the non-human? What's the difference?
Because we're providing food.
And that's the trait. So what trait are non-humans lacking that makes it okay to do that to them?
What trait?
Yeah.
Well, they're not human, are they? And they're food.
So that because their DNA is different to us, is that why it's okay to do that to them?
Everything about a cow is different to us. You're nothing like a cow. You're nothing like a sheep. You're nothing like an abalone.
But we do have
life, Jack. You know what I mean?
But you would agree that we have similarities. We us and non-humans, if we're talking about the animals that you're shooting, would you agree that they feel pain, they feel joy, they enjoy being alive, they want to be outside, they want to be with their friends, they want to be a family?
No, not all the time. Okay. No, I see a very vast degree of animals, and when you're actually dealing with all these animals, they separate themselves from others. Some are cranky, some are happy, some are this, some are that. As far as the group goes, they all eat together. Some ostracise themselves, some stay away. So at the end of the day, animals are very different to how humans actually interact with each other.
Okay, well, I want to reference actually a video of yours that maybe I can link into the post-production of this video. I can edit it in and maybe people can go see it for themselves. But you will know the one I'm talking about when I describe it to you. So there's a video of you it looks like you've probably just killed a cow, and it looks like there's a baby calf that's really obviously crying and in a lot of distress. It looked like maybe that was just one of their parent cows or something like that. Do you know the video I'm talking about?
Oh, the bull?
Yeah. Do you know the one where the calf is in a lot of distress?
It's not a calf, it's a bull. Oh, it's like 4.5 years old.
Yeah, okay. It looks like they're in distress.
Now listen to this, Jack. Do you know what he's actually doing?
What?
He's calling the other cows to come over and have a look.
I think people will watch this and they can make up their own mind on this. It is very, very obvious that this bull is in a lot of distress. They are actually crying. It's very obvious. Would you agree that they were in distress?
No, because I see that a lot, and they do that numerous times. Whether they see anything in the paddock, something new, if the dirt's been dug up, they'll go and dig up the dirt, right? And they'll stand in the dirt, and they'll call everyone home and say, "Fresh pile of dirt here," and they'll do exactly the same thing. So it's just basically a recognition from the animal to say, hey, it's like a rooster when he finds food. He goes, "Bok, bok, 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 bok," right? And he goes, oi, come over here. And all the chickens come over and he goes, here you go, here's your food. He's not in distress, is he? He's just telling them where the food is. And all the bull is doing in that video, all the bull is doing in that video is telling all the cows, fucking something going on over here, come and have a look. And that's how they communicate. So you don't have any understanding about animal communication, and that's very transparent right here. You have no actual, I don't think you really have actually spent much time in
something. You just said something. The bull was crying to get other people over, to get other cows over because something's wrong here. That's what you just said.
Communicating, not crying.
You just said something. The bull is communicating because they think something is wrong here. You just said that.
Yeah, same with a pile of dirt. If something happens in a paddock and something is new, if you go and dig a pile of dirt, or if you go put in a new fence, the first cow that gets there will go, oi,
so
come over here and have a look. And that's
okay. Well, do you think the same about dogs, and do you think it's okay to do that to dogs?
Do you know that you just totally deviated just then?
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand. I'm actually on the same topic. I'm just like imagining this same scenario. Do you think it would be okay to do this to dogs?
Check out that blackberry.
Would it be okay to do that to dogs?
What to dogs?
Sorry?
Do what to dogs?
Do exactly what you do to cows and other animals in your butchery.
Are you talking about doing that?
Yeah. Would it be okay if I shot that dog in the head? Would you care if I shot that dog in the head?
Coa. He wants me to shoot you in the head. I'm just talking to Coa.
Would that be wrong?
To shoot my dog in the head? Why
the
fuck would I want to shoot my dog in the head?
No, if I shot your dog in the head because I wanted to feed that dog to my dog or something like that, would that be wrong?
If you're going to shoot my dog, I'll fucking punch your lights out and I'll probably put you underwater long enough to say you stop being vegan.
Wow. Sounds like you want to protect your dogs.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Do you think it would be wrong to shoot your dog?
Well, of course. Why would I have a dog and then want to shoot it, you idiot?
Why would you not want to? Because you want to protect them, right?
I don't want to protect. They protect us. That's what they.
Yeah, but you also would want to protect them from me shooting them in the head.
Dogs were bred to actually hunt for humans and become companions. Unlike a cow. I mean, you imagine having a cow as a fucking pet. Imagine if I had a Holstein here. He would have eaten all the bloody blackberries and grapes, wouldn't he? And if he came inside,
do you not think
how do you stop a Holstein cow? How do you
not see that as being contradictory?
How do you stop a Holstein cow shitting in your house? And why would you have a 600, 700, 800 kilo?
I don't know why we're getting onto this. I just wanted to understand why it would be wrong to do it to the dog, but not the cow.
Come down your dumb analogy road. Why would you shoot a dog? Because I fucking got the dog as a pet.
Yeah, because you care for that damn thing. You respect your dog's life.
And I care for animals too. And I actually eat the animals that I care for.
So why would it be not caring to shoot the dog in the head? If you think it's caring to shoot a cow in the head, why is it not caring to shoot a dog in the head?
Well, because has to be a reason for it.
Yeah, well, let's say someone was hungry.
Yeah, is it me that's hungry?
Well, let's say someone is, and they came and shot your dog, and they were hungry. Was that justified then, based on your logic?
Well, it's not going to be very justified once I finish with them, is it?
I'm just trying to say, is it justified because they're food to that person?
You're just a dumb analogy again, like just stupidity. Like,
Well, it's actually based
you
on
haven't
your
really
logic.
come up. Not on my logic; it's your logic.
Well,
Your
you said it's
analogy is
okay.
your logic.
You said it's okay to shoot cows in the head because they're food. Why is it not okay to shoot a dog in the head because they're food to someone else, especially in other cultures like China? Why would it be wrong for them to shoot your dog in the head or any dog in the head?
That's their culture. You're not talking about my dog. You're talking about other people's dogs. You're not talking about
Oh,
my pet right here.
okay.
Because I'm not going to do that.
So you would,
No,
right.
you know that. So stop with the dumb analogies. Other cultures do kill dogs. They eat cats. They fucking eat snakes. They eat fucking crocodiles and alligators. The human race eats everything, right?
They do.
Let's go down the road. Let's go down the road of meat or egg. You know, we can have free range eggs and we can have all that deliciousness and the protein of it. You guys have got to go out and manufacture that and the ultra processed. How many animals do you kill to ultra process that food?
We've
You
already
don't
been over this
even
dramatically less. Now, okay, so if there
how
was
many.
somebody shooting another dog in the head right in front of you, and you could prevent it, they're not your dog, but you could prevent it because if it was right in front of you, would you do that? Would you prevent them shooting that dog in the head?
What are they doing it for?
Food.
Whose dog is it?
Anyone else's but yours.
So they're just shooting some random person's dog.
No, let's say it's their dog or a stray dog.
Well, you've got to choose. You can't. It has to choose. Is it their dog?
Stray dog then.
A stray dog. So they're shooting a stray dog for their food. And how am I witnessing this unbelievable scenario?
Well, whatever you desire. But let's say that's happening right in front of you. Would you prevent it if you could?
This is your desire. It's not mine. You got a fucking twisted mental. Fuck.
Do you care enough about dogs that you would try to prevent it?
Are you secretly Jeffrey Dahmer? You know what I mean? Like,
No, I'm a vegan, so I don't exploit any animals or humans as well.
Oh, but they're incidental deaths for your food.
Would you try to prevent? Would you try to prevent somebody shooting a dog right in front of you if you could?
Well, I can't ever see myself in that scenario. It's just
well, let's say
scenario.
You can. Well, would you do it if you were in that scenario?
I've never been in that. I just don't know what I would act at this point in time. I don't know if I was standing there and some guy had a gun. In Australia, it's very hard to keep guns. So if I was somewhere on a farm and a guy's going to go, well, I think I might eat that dog, and he shoots it, it's up to him, isn't it?
But if you could prevent it, would you?
Well, he's shooting the dog on his account. No, I wouldn't stop him. No.
No, I'm just saying. So you wouldn't. You don't care enough about that dog to try to prevent it.
Well, it's not my. Why should I prevent it?
Well, I just want to know. You wouldn't. You don't care enough about that dog to prevent them killing that dog. Is that what you're saying?
It's an incidental death.
No, that's a deliberate death. That's the opposite of incidental.
No. Well, your incidental deaths are deliberate too. So, but you choose you choose that word as incidental, where it's not. It's deliberate.
No, I'm actually just going off the definition. I was just going off the definition. So you wouldn't prevent it because you don't care enough about those dogs.
Your food comes with deliberate death. Yeah, it's not as big as what big corporations are. And I'm not saying I'm with. I mean, what's your actual fight against, Jack? Is your fight against people eating meat, or is your fight against global big business?
My fight is against the exploitation and murder of animals.
All right, let's go with this then, Jack. Let's play who's more vegan, Matt or Jack. All right. So let's go back in time. Let's go back. We've got a whole pile of seeds that we can plant for our food. Okay, right? And we've got animals, right? But you don't exploit animals. But we've got 1 million people to feed. You've got 1 million people to feed, and I've got 1 million people to feed. Okay, right? Go ahead and see that. So All right, so we've got to plant crops. We've got to get all this going. I've got animals. You don't want to use animals, do you? You're not going
Oh,
to
I don't want.
exploit animals.
No,
So I'm going
I don't want to
to
enslave animals. No.
right. So you're not enslaved, but I'm going to use cows and everything, and sheep and manure and everything to help sow my crops and get them going, and to get water and everything. I'm going to use animals. What are you going to use, Jack?
What do you mean?
How are you going to plant your crops to feed a million
Uh,
people? How are you going to do it? Are you going to use human labour
Human labor? Yeah, consensual human labor. Absolutely.
to feed those million people? You're going to get all those people to do exactly what I can do. Now I can actually feed and give protein off the animals that I have and produce, and my million people will be very healthy from the start. You have to wait. Your people are already dead because you can't grow those crops. You can't manufacture those
What
crops. Well, how are you going to do it?
do you mean?
You're going to get a million people to come and help you do that, Jack?
Why would you need a million people? How do you
Well, I
think they're
mean, you've got
doing
to
it
feed
today?
a million people to be out there weeding and doing all that sort of stuff that the animals could have done for you, but you're not willing to exploit them, which you're willing to exploit your own girlfriend and show her around the bloody world,
Consensual.
right?
Yeah, I don't think you understand what the word consensual means. Okay,
How's it?
let's go back to it. So you wouldn't prevent somebody shooting a dog in the head
No.
if you were able to. You wouldn't. And now, is that because you think you don't care enough about dogs? They don't deserve the same right to life that a human would?
Well, you're asking me if a guy's going to shoot a dog and he's going to eat it for food, and it's not my dog, and
Yeah.
it's his, then and he's going to eat it. Well, why should I stop him?
Do you not think that that dog deserves to be protected like a human would?
No.
No. So you would be okay if so knowing that they could eat something else, they could eat something that isn't sentient. You would still be okay with them shooting that dog in the head, knowing they don't have to be doing that.
We're okay with another sentient being shooting another sentient being in the head for food.
Sorry.
You're okay with one sentient being shooting another sentient being in the head for food that you've got him bound up. You had me bound
No,
up.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm against that.
That was your scenario. You were all for
Yeah,
that.
and I said that I would be against that, and I was wondering if you would be against that, and you said you would be against someone shooting a human in the head.
You put me in that position, so you were okay with that.
No, I'm not.
Well, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
I never said I was.
Well, then you brought in the whole, listen, there's vegan food after that. Like, what story are you playing? You get the hypothetical, but is your hypothetical the only one that's allowed here, or is my hypothetical not allowed? Like,
Oh, you can make
where are we?
hypotheticals, and I will answer them, and I did. I said I'm against that. If someone were to shoot you in the head, I'm against it. I was asking a question, and you said you would be against it too. Fundamentally, this entire conversation, it really doesn't seem that you can provide a good justification based on the traits of those animals or trait differences to why it would be okay to do it to a non-human, but it's not okay to do it to a human. You're technically a speciesist. Do you know what that means?
A speciesist.
Yeah.
You're a speciesist. You kill animals. Your food is not incidental. It's deliberate. You're a speciesist. You're okay with them dying. You're no different to me, Jack. You're a
What do
speciesist.
you mean by that? I've already explained to you how that works. Vegans
Yeah,
do everything they can to not exploit any animals. They're doing the best they possibly can, and based on numbers, where we are exploiting. Well, technically, we're not deliberately exploiting anybody. Now, whether a farmer goes out and deaths will occur in that process, we can't control the farmer. But even if you're going to be looking at numbers, it's dramatically less as compared to people that are deliberately exploiting and murdering animals.
their life's not worth it, Jack. Their life's okay. It's okay for them to
Sorry,
die. Is it
no,
okay
it's
for
not
them to
okay.
die?
No, we should be doing everything we can to prevent that.
Well, I don't think you're doing enough, Jack.
Oh, we that's the whole process. As going into the future, we need to find every possible way we can to do that. Now, that's how a vegan would think. A non-vegan like yourself don't value human lives, and you think it's okay to just go around killing animals, by the sounds of it.
Human lives. Where'd you get the non-value of human life?
Sorry?
Where'd you get me not valuing human lives?
Oh, sorry, I must have mistaken. You don't value non-human lives.
I do value non-human
How
lives because they
can you
provide.
value their life when you shoot them in the head, knowing you don't have to shoot them in the head?
Well, I do have to shoot them in the head because they provide nutrition.
No, but it's not a necessity. You can get your nutrition elsewhere on a plant-based diet.
Boring like you, Jack.
Sorry?
wants to be boring. I don't want to. Like, I would hate to go camping with you because you're so fucking boring. What are you going to bring camping, Jack? If you go
Oh,
camping,
I can bring whatever I want. There's
yeah,
vegan alternatives for everything. The most taste and enjoyment I've ever had on a diet is actually my current diet. It's and and pretty much every vegan will attest to that.
you got to go and
You can get tasty foods on both diets.
buy everything you do. You can't live off the land. You
Sorry?
can't live, and you have to buy everything you have. You have to buy everything. You're the biggest sucker to big business that there is. You are going down the road of being the biggest suckball to big business ever. They're just sucking you up. The big business doesn't care about veganism. They're putting money into it because they can suck the money out of you, and it's beautiful. You know what I mean?
So why do you think a vegan couldn't source their food locally? Why do you think that's not possible?
Mate, if we go camping, you can't. You're not going to enjoy going out spearing a fish. You're not going to be able to shoot a kangaroo. You're not going to be able to get abalone. You're not going to be able to have that enjoyment, the exhilaration of actually doing it. Your manliness, you're just suffering as a man, aren't
Not
you? Like
at
you
all,
just
mate. I don't have to
man. It's no one.
prove anything, mate.
It's no wonder your girlfriend's so dominant over the top of you. You're a bloody better male. Why do
Got
you want
nothing to prove to you there, mate.
Why do you want to be a better male?
Sorry, I didn't say I didn't want to be a better male. That's what
You
you're
are.
trying to pull out
You,
here.
you're overpowered by Tash. She just rules you.
Do you
You
not
know what
think
I
it's a
mean?
masculine thing to protect the innocent?
Who's innocent, Jack?
Non-human animals that you murder daily.
I harvest them daily,
Mm.
and they're innocent. They're food.
From the
They're
victim's
just like the food.
position, it's murder. Whether you consider it harvest, from the victim's position, they're being murdered.
Well, they don't see it from your point of view. They don't bring human emotion into it, Jack. You're only bringing human emotion into you're a weakness. You're the sickness that's actually getting around the earth. I mean, all these. Do you go by a pronoun now, Jack?
Uh,
Do you
what
have
do
a
you? No,
pronoun?
I'm just
She?
he, him, whatever you
Be a
want to go
him, she.
by. No.
You'd be a him. You'd be a him, she, because Tash is, she's her him,
All right,
isn't it?
all right, mate. Whatever
I'm
you
not.
want.
I'm not your mate. You've gone up with this whole different stupid analogies, right? You've got
You're
all
the
these
one that's
hypothetical.
taken it to this part of the conversation. I don't even know how we got here. I'm simply somebody that doesn't want to abuse animals, and I'm doing everything I can to not abuse animals. That's what it means to be vegan. Most people are actually against cruelty and abuse towards animals. Most people would see that animals deserve the right to live. It's just that they're not acting on those morals and those values. So the difference between you and I is I'm actually acting on my morals and values and not actively going out and murdering somebody.
100% of all my customers come and watch exactly what I do, and they're there for the whole moment, and they're there for the process all the way through. Can you say that about your
Do you think?
food, Jack?
Sorry,
Can you say that about?
can I say what about my food? I don't murder
Do you
animals, so
do
I don't have to go see it happen.
anything yourself? Do people come and watch what you do? Do people appreciate what you do to grow food and provide it for them? Does that happen to you, Jack?
I'm not a farmer, but there are vegan farmers.
Does it happen to you, Jack? Just answer the question.
Does what happened to me?
You do that.
People, what?
You do that. You provide for anyone, Jack.
I'm
You
not a farmer.
provide,
Why would I have to provide food for people?
so you buy everything.
I'm not a
So
farmer, so yeah, that's what I do. Just like every one of your customers.
you need to be provided for.
Yep. Would you say the same about your customers? You're
No, because
providing for them.
they provide what I need to do for them.
Okay. So you have an issue with people buying food.
I don't have an issue with buying food. I'm just having an issue with you being ignorant.
I buy food, so you don't have an issue with me then.
Yeah, no, you're ignorant. You go away from being a human. You can't provide anything for anyone, and yet when someone can provide something for someone, you say, "Oh, it's fucking morally wrong," because you're shooting a cow in the head,
I don't
because you're
have an
raising
issue
a
with
chicken.
somebody. I don't have an
Hey,
issue with somebody providing products. I have an issue with somebody abusing and murdering animals
how
and enslaving
is it?
animals.
How is it
Sorry,
abuse? How is
because
it abuse?
it's abuse to murder somebody. It's abuse to shoot somebody in the head. It's an act of violence.
Dictionary, Jackie boy. You don't even know what a fucking dictionary is.
Well,
Look up
let's pull it up.
abuse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's pull up the definition of abuse.
Abuse. Go on.
To treat with cruelty or violence. Do you think it's violent to shoot somebody in the head?
No,
So if I shot you in the head, it's not an act of violence.
not if it's for food. No.
Okay. Look, I think that's a good spot to finish because it really shows your value system and your logic. But I do really appreciate you coming on and having this conversation. I think it's going to be really useful to see where your values lie, where your logic is, and people can take a look at it for themselves. I mean, I would direct people to have a look at your content simply because it's extremely disturbing, because you'll see these animals, they're actually seemingly quite, in that moment, happy animals, and you're actually stealing their life from them. And I would say that is extremely disturbing, and I think most people would agree with that.
Jack, everything you eat, you're stealing lives yourself. Everything you eat, because you totally rely on someone processing for you. You're 100% reliant. You're a beta male. You're ruled by your girlfriend and your mother. And I think you're an absolute joke.
Can I ask you one finishing question?
No.
What are your thoughts on myself and other activists outreaching to younger people and teenagers? Do you think that's okay to do? What do you think of that?
Oh, I think you're chasing kiddies around the park and exploiting them without their permission is a violation.
What would you call that by definition?
I think you're a pervert. I think
A
you're a
pervert.
porn of your own girlfriend, which I find absolutely disgusting. I can't believe you actually do that, and find, even though it's consensual, I can't. Oh, and she's well past her prime now. I can't believe people actually pay money to see that. If they do, how much
So
money
you're
do you
saying I'm
make
a
of it?
pervert. You're saying I'm a pervert because I talk to younger people about animal rights and the exploitation of animals and teaching them.
I think you steer clear of talking to older people. Yeah.
I talk to people of all
Yeah.
ages.
I think from our discussion this afternoon or this evening is that you have these hypothetical questions that are so twisted that I can't believe someone would actually ask something like that. And seeing as you do come from a family of animal transportation to abattoirs, and the fact that you actually pornograph your own girlfriend is, I find you absolutely disgusting as a human being.
Okay. Well, I think the victims that you're shooting every single day see you as a disgusting human being as well.
Well, I don't think they think the way you do. I know they don't think the way you do. Don't care.
Um,
I think you're
Either way, you're violating the rights. You're violating the rights of these non-human animals. Really, there's no moral difference between shooting a human in the head and a non-human in the head. You couldn't actually provide a justifiable reason, a trait difference.
yes,
That's a
I
good
did.
spot to finish. No, you didn't. You really deflected. But look, people can take a look at this footage for themselves in post, and they can make their own decision. Are they going to be somebody that actively exploits and murders animals, are violent towards animals, shooting them in the head, knowing that they could just live vegan instead? They can make that decision for themselves.
They've been a pornographer yet, poofter. You fucking fag. Jesus.
Well, there you go. I hope you all enjoyed that. He obviously couldn't answer questions. He deflects like most people do. I was asking hypothetical questions because I wanted to test his value system. I wanted to test his morals. I wanted to understand why he justifies doing it to non-humans, but wouldn't justify it towards humans. And even then, he couldn't even answer it when it came to humans. Really, it came down to consequences for himself. Finally, he did admit that he respects humans, he loves other humans, and he wouldn't do it to humans. So then I was asking, why doesn't he give that same respect to non-humans? And again, we went around and around and around in circles. It's because he knows he's morally wrong. Maybe he doesn't know it truthfully, maybe it's subconscious to him, but deep down he knows it is, and that's why people like him like to avoid answering these hypothetical questions as much as possible, because they will come out as hypocrites, they will come out as contradictory. Because most humans, including him, I think deep down are against the violation and abuse of other animals. He just in his head justifies it in many ways, but each of those reasons is completely unjustifiable. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm recording this on my camera as well. I was hoping to have I was hoping to get him record it on his end, or we could live stream it to YouTube, so it would be much better quality. But he was avoiding doing any of that. He just wanted to keep it to Instagram, and it's not an ideal setup in the portrait. But I'm going to do what I can to make a YouTube video out of this. I think it's important that people see how these animal abusers can't answer very simple hypothetical questions, and they don't want to have their values tested. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If anyone's just tuning in now, I'm going to ideally post this live stream on Instagram and also make a full YouTube version and do some shorts and stuff like that. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next time.